Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. An ex-vice president at JP Chase asks if Iran and North Korea can use XRP without U.S. interference. That's the headline from a new piece that just came out today. It's a fun one. I have a number of things to say about this. Another thing I want to talk about in this video is I want to comment on a short video clip that's been circulating around the XRP community on Twitter for the last day or so, and it's about the concept of a one-world currency actually coming to be a thing. And I think some of the XRP community are thinking that XRP could fill specifically that role. In the video, though, it went on to talk about how it was a short clip, but just the idea that there's going to be complete economic collapse, essentially, and that it's all by design. I'd say it's more due to incompetency if it happens, but that's the starting point. Before going any further, though, if you would please delicately tap that like button, and if you are a fan of Ripple and XRP, go ahead and subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel, the best channel on all of YouTube. And that's a fact. Ask your mama, she'll tell you the truth. So I got this story from XRP Crypto Phil, and I want to give you a shout out, Phil. I do appreciate you tagging me in this. And let's go ahead and dive right in. Do you know who they're talking about? Who the ex-VP at JP Chase is? None other than Tone Vays. Oh yes, our friend. Obviously the strongest cheerleader for Ripple and XRP. Okay, opposite of that, fine. A cryptocurrency expert, former Wall Street trader, and vice president of JP Chase, Tone Vays, former of course, has questioned the centralized nature of Ripple and its digital currency XRP, pestering to know if it would be possible for embattled North Korea and Iran to make use of the remittance platform and its on-demand liquidity without the United States interfering. Okay, well, Ripple is a company. Companies are not decentralized, so Ripple, the company, is centralized. There's no such... What is a decentralized company? That doesn't make any sense. And it's not their currency, XRP. XRP is quite decentralized, and Ripple just holds a bunch of it. All right. That really grinds my gears having to straighten that out in these articles. The financial analyst who dubbed XRP a scam coin had in the past criticized Ripple and its token for a number of reasons. He said Ripple claims XRP is decentralized and uncontrollable, but if Iran or North Korea make use of Ripple's XRP as a global currency and value transfer, just a mere call from the U.S. authorities to the CEO of Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse, will make the company prevent the two countries from making use of the asset. You can see how absurd this is, right? I can't imagine. I genuinely prefer, generally I prefer to give people the benefit of the doubt when they state things that are just factually incorrect. But Tone Vays, he's been in crypto for a long time with hundreds of thousands of, how many followers does he have? I think he has close to 200,000 followers on Twitter at this point. He's been around crypto forever, and I can't imagine that he doesn't genuinely know that XRP, the XRP ledger, it's absolutely decentralized, and Ripple doesn't have any special powers over it. It's hard for me to believe that he could not know that, especially given how long he's been speaking along these lines and how many times he's been corrected and presented evidence. I could see that mistake being made by those that are just kind of somewhat into crypto and haven't gone to great lengths to educate themselves about what XRP is and what it has to offer. I could see having a misunderstanding given how much FUD is out there. How could this not be intentional, Anyway, the recent situation between Iran and the United States must have been the basis of Tone's opinion. Vays made the assertion to question XRP's level of centralization once again and its ability as a decentralized currency to help the two countries out of the sanction placed on them by the United States. So here's the actual tweet, brand new from today, and he retweeted a video clip that Huddle Style put out there. And it's from a September 2019 interview where Julia Chatterley on CNN was interviewing Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse. So he retweeted that, and here's what he wrote. Verbatim. I said it before and will again. Ripple claims their XRP scam coin is decentralized and uncontrollable, but if Iran and North Korea start using Ripple as global currency and value transfer, All it will take is a phone call from the U.S. authorities to Garlinghouse. S-word coin gone. So there you go. And of course, he's conflating Ripple and XRP. He certainly does know better than this. He's been corrected so many times. How could he not? And so if he thinks that North Korea and Iran are going to use Ripple, a company, as a global currency, that just don't make no damn sense. Okay, that just seriously. So he's clearly referencing XRP, but he doesn't want to use the three letters XRP. He just doesn't want to do it. So, okay, scam coin. Can I just read this again? I covered this yesterday, but given what popped up, I wanted to share this awesome tweet from the Bishop, an XRP community member here. Because again, Tonevase just said XRP is a scam. Here's what the Bishop wrote on Twitter. If XRP is a scam, it's the most efficient, regulatory compliant, internationally recognized, Wall Street touted, financially backed, billion-dollar evaluated, enterprise transforming, central bank noticed scam I've ever seen, and my money is in it. Exactly. There's no way in hell this could possibly be a scam. It's just absolutely not possible. The XRP ledger is decentralized. And so let's talk a little bit further. He's talking about the concept of Brad Garlinghouse being able to just hop on the horn and shut down North Korea and Iran from utilizing XRP, which is decentralized. No, that doesn't make any sense at all. Now, if you're talking about situations where there's sanctions placed on companies, obviously there's political and geopolitical turmoil all over the place, right? Well, if you're talking about XRP being utilized as a bridge currency, understand that there are regulated endpoints with beginning endpoints in different countries where, KYC and AML checks, know your customer and anti-money laundering checks are in place. They have to be. And so those endpoints are not decentralized. There are companies at those endpoints, and so those can be controlled, but XRP itself, no. Absolutely not. Just like Bitcoin can't. You can't. Bitcoin is decentralized. It just is. And XRP is more decentralized, but still, I would argue that Bitcoin is pretty darn centralized. Now, I've brought up the most negative point on that topic that you can, which is that in terms of the mining power, the Chinese control it right now, and that's not exactly a good thing. But still, it's pretty reasonably decentralized at this point. So it's nonsensical. So if there were pressure to stop money flows utilizing XRP as a bridge currency, well, that could be done. But that would be no different than if there were pressures that were putting stop payments on payment flows utilizing SWIFT and the banking system with the pre-funded Nostra Vostra accounts. It'd be no different than that. But XRP itself, no, absolutely not. Makes no damn sense. And let me go a little bit further down here. I think actually, that's the gist of what I wanted to cover from that piece, so I think I can hop on, actually. And it was fun reading through. I'm not going to cover in this video, but if you want to for the fun, go ahead on Twitter. Just hop on this actual tweet from Tonevase, and there's just people in the XRP community on it, correcting. I enjoyed reading through a number of the tweets there. All right, next. Here's a tweet that I liked from Brandon Grinstead, who tagged me along with Ripple, the company Ripple, not XRP, because Ripple and XRP are not the same thing, tagged me along with Ripple, digital asset investor, and Kevin Cage, and wrote this. I don't understand why people are so quick to talk down on XRP. It seems like if I were looking to make money, I would want to invest in the asset that is, number 1, backed by multiple VC-backed companies, 2, has the best liquidity, 3, has the most developers, 4, works with the existing system, 5, is the fastest and most secure, 6, is still being built upon constantly, and 7, has partnerships with many FIs and relationships with governments and central banks. I like the two tweets back-to-back, so I just thought I'd share it with you. And shout out to you, Brandon. Thanks for tagging me. All right, next. I was tagged in this short video clip I referenced. It was a little less than 2 minutes. I was tagged in this, cited this at the beginning of the video, by Bill, who on Twitter is @CryptoEmblem, so shout out to you, good sir. And Bill wrote, "Hey XRP community, this has been planned for a long time, hodl." And so the video clip starts with the concept of saying the 2008 financial collapse is, it was engineered. I believe they actually used the word engineered. And I don't believe that. It's okay. I know some people in our community may believe that, but to me it's a little too out there. If you can shoot me in the direction of some evidence, but it's been 11 and a half years roughly since that happened, and I haven't seen any. But if there is any, fine. If there's some sort of engineering, to me it was just incompetence. Absolute government meddling where it probably shouldn't be, and ultimately collapse, right? And economic collapse spread the world over, and we had the greatest recession in my lifetime, certainly, and I'm 36 years old. Probably the worst since the actual Great Depression. So that did happen, but again, I think it was incompetence. But then they go on to talk about the idea of a one world global currency. And so you're not going to get entities, nations the world over that are going to give up their sovereignty for some sort of groupthink. Because you can imagine, even if certain nations do get together, you're never going to get every nation on the world on board. So nations are always going to have their own incentives for what currencies they want to use, the currencies they can print, otherwise manipulate, institute their own fiscal policy because they control it. So fiat currencies the world over are not going away. Is something going to happen to the dollar? I don't know. I don't say it's impossible just because it's never happened. I wouldn't say that it wouldn't collapse, but I don't know if it's going to happen in my lifetime for sure. There's so much mounting debt and it's not being corrected over. So to me, it's like this whole thing's going to have to burst at some point. I just don't know when. But to that end, this idea that the United States, along with a bunch of other countries around the world, are just going to get on board and say, here's the new currency. No. Now, if you're talking about replacing United States dollar as a global reserve currency, the United States is certainly aware of this potential threat, but recognizes that it's in no immediate danger of that. Cryptocurrencies are just, even if do you want to call them mainstream? They're more mainstream than several years ago, fine, but it's just such a small percentage of the population that understands it and has invested in this and that. There's not a ton of liquidity in the asset class. It could happen. I'm not ruling it out, but I don't suspect, my humble opinion, it's okay if you feel differently, but I just don't suspect that that's going to happen anytime soon. But I could certainly see this outcome as, the global reserve currency moving to a cryptocurrency. I could see that happening, but only if it's sufficiently decentralized. I'd be kind of surprised if it happened with some sort of centralized cryptocurrency. To me, that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. So anyway, that's just my opinion there. Lastly here, I got this from XRP Crypto Wolf. Thank you very much for sending this my way. And this one's titled, UK Financial Watchdog FCA now supervises AML/CTF compliance of crypto businesses. And this is from Cointelegraph here. Britain's Financial Conduct Authority, FCA, now monitors anti-money laundering and counter-terrorist financing for companies carrying out cryptocurrency-related activities. According to an official announcement published on January 10th, FCA will supervise whether United Kingdom registered businesses engaged in crypto asset-related operations and are compliant with relevant regulations and requirements. By the way, the FCA did, this is the entity some of you may recall that declared that XRP has actual utility and so thus is not a security. Anyway, further in the announcement, FCA set forth a list of requirements for cryptocurrency-related businesses, which includes the identification and assessment of risks in regards to AML and CFT, development of policies and controls to eliminate risks associated with AML and CFT, conduction of customer due diligence, and others. And here's a quote, "We will proactively supervise firms' compliance with the new regulations and will take swift action where firms fall short of desired standards and cause risks to market integrity," the announcement said. So there you go. And that's it for this video. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!